Most people assume truck drivers check into a motel at the end of a long day. A bed, a shower, a hot meal, then back on the road in the morning. That is not what happens. Many OTR drivers, over-the-road drivers, don't check into a hotel for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes longer. They sleep, eat, shower, and live inside a space smaller than most people's walk-in closets, parked next to a highway at 2 in the morning, and a significant number of them will tell you they wouldn't have it any other way. This is what daily life actually looks like inside a truck cab. There are around 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States alone. A large portion of them are OTR drivers, the ones running long hauls across state lines, sometimes coast to coast, covering 3,000 to 5,000 miles before a single run is done. They don't come home after each trip. They stay out for weeks at a time. The math makes the decision for them. A basic truck stop motel room runs between $80 and $120 a night. Multiply that by 20 nights a month, and you're looking at up to $2,400 every single month just on hotels. Nearly $30,000 a year just to sleep. For a driver spending 200 nights a year on the road, living in the truck isn't just convenient. It's the only thing that makes financial sense. But here's what the numbers don't capture. The average OTR driver spends more nights inside their truck than in their own bedroom. Their cab is where they decompress after 10 hours behind the wheel, where they call home to say goodnight to their kids, where they wake up and do it all over again. It isn't a vehicle with a bed in it. It's home. And like any home, it starts with sleep. Falling asleep in a truck stop parking lot is nothing like falling asleep in a quiet bedroom. Picture this. You've just driven 10 hours straight. Your back is stiff, your eyes are done, and all you want is to close them. But outside your window, 50 other trucks are running their engines. Humming, rattling, vibrating at a frequency that makes it almost impossible to relax. Noise is the #1 complaint among new drivers. Not the loneliness, not the food, the sound of diesel engines that never fully goes away. Modern sleeper cabs handle this better than most people expect. The walls are thick, the windows are double-layered, and almost every driver runs blackout curtains that seal the bunk off completely. Once those curtains close, the outside world mostly disappears. Temperature is the other problem. In winter, an unpowered cab loses heat fast, dangerously fast. This is where the APU comes in. An auxiliary power unit is a small independent generator that runs separately from the main engine, keeping the heat on and the bunk at a livable temperature without burning through a full tank of diesel overnight. For drivers in extreme cold, it isn't a luxury. It's what keeps the night from becoming an emergency. And yet, despite all of it, the noise, the temperature management, the parking lots, studies consistently show that many OTR drivers sleep better in their cab than they do at home. The routine is identical every night. The space is familiar. There are no interruptions, just the curtains, the low hum of the APU, and 10 mandatory hours of rest before the next run. Because in the US, hours of service regulations require a minimum of 10 hours off duty before a driver can operate again. Rest isn't optional. It's federal law. But not every sleeping setup is the same. And the gap between the basic and the top end is wider than most people imagine. Most people picture a truck sleeper as a narrow box behind the driver's seat. A thin mattress, barely enough room to turn over. For a lot of trucks, that's roughly accurate. But then there's the other end of the spectrum. Custom sleeper builders like Array Legacy, Bolt Custom Trucks, and ICT Sleepers construct cabs that are genuinely embarrassing to compare to the average studio apartment. Full-size queen mattresses with proper bedding, built-in cabinetry, hardwood floors, LED lighting, flat-screen TVs mounted to the wall, climate systems with individual zone controls. Some include an onboard shower with a glass door and real water pressure. A few feature a full kitchen, a lounge area, and a private bathroom inside the truck. Entry-level custom builds start around $150,000. Mid-range sits between $200,000 and $300,000. The top-end fully custom rigs go for $500,000. Some have crossed $600,000. The median home price in the United States is around $400,000. Some drivers are literally living in something worth more than the average American house. Except theirs has a diesel engine and does 70 miles an hour on the interstate. Now here's the part nobody talks about openly, but everyone wants to know. Where do truck drivers go to the bathroom? For most OTR drivers, the answer is the truck stop. Major chains like Pilot, Flying J, Love's, and TA Travel Centers operate full bathroom facilities around the clock. But truck stops aren't always nearby when it's 2 in the morning in the middle of Wyoming. So, some drivers keep a portable toilet in the cab. Practical, compact, and exactly as glamorous as it sounds. In the high-end custom sleepers, there's often a proper onboard toilet. Small and functional. Because when you've spent $500,000 on a truck, walking across a dark parking lot at 3 in the morning stops being an acceptable option. Showers are where it actually gets impressive. Most major truck stops offer private shower rooms, not a curtain and a drain. Actual private rooms with a full shower, a sink, a toilet, clean towels, and a lock on the door. Pilot and Flying J run a rewards system where drivers earn shower credits every time they fuel up. Given that a single truck can burn through hundreds of gallons of diesel per week, most professional drivers never pay for a shower. Some say they take better showers on the road than they do at home. And given that these rooms are cleaned between every single use, they might not be wrong. High-end sleeper owners skip the truck stop entirely. Onboard showers mean they never need to leave the cab, which is either incredibly convenient or slightly concerning, depending on how you feel about human contact. Either way, after a long day and a hot shower, there's still one problem left to solve. Most people picture a truck driver's dinner as a gas station hot dog and a bag of chips. That does exist. Nobody's pretending otherwise. But the reality for a large number of OTR drivers is completely different. Many of them cook, not heat something up. Actually cook full meals inside the cab, parked in a truck stop lot somewhere in the middle of America. The math drives the decision again. A basic meal at a truck stop diner runs between $12 and $18. 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. That's up to $375 every week on food alone. Over a month on the road, easily $1,500 gone just on meals. Modern sleeper cabs make cooking possible in ways most people wouldn't expect. A 12-volt refrigerator runs off the truck's electrical system and keeps food fresh for days. Most drivers add a microwave, a portable induction cooktop, or a compact air fryer. Some cook outside the cab entirely, a portable propane grill, a folding table, and suddenly a truck stop parking lot somewhere in Nevada becomes a fairly decent outdoor kitchen at sunset. The drivers who last on the road long-term aren't just good at driving. They're good at building a life inside a very small space. They figure out the sleep, they figure out the hygiene, they figure out the food, and eventually, without really planning for it, they turn a truck into something that actually works. To most people, a truck is just something they move over for on the highway. But for the driver behind that wheel, it's where they sleep, eat, shower, and live. Sometimes for weeks, without a break. A bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, and an office, all moving at 70 miles an hour down the interstate. And most of them wouldn't trade it for the world.